The Prick. Guinevere thought it would be easy. Girl meets cactus. Girl loves cactus. Cactus loves girl back. She never meant for it to go this far. In this darkly comedic new play, battle lines will be drawn and blood will be shed. The Prick is a love story. You've been warned. I'm now joined live in the studio here with Brynn and Emily. Thanks a lot for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Twins.
That's where we get to do the jinx, right? The last guest was talking about Dr. Pepper, so
Incredible.
Dr. Pepper jinx. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I love that. So I was reading that, and I love that description of that of the show. So it kind of makes me want to ask like more about. I don't want, of course, don't want to give too much away. Mm-hmm. But what's with the cactus thing? I mean, that's probably what everyone's wondering.
That is the question. And I mean, what I love about the cactus is I think everybody kind of walks away from the show having a totally different opinion about what the cactus meant. And that's my favorite thing in theater is when an audience member can tell you, oh, your play was about this. And I go, oh, that's not what I meant, but heck yeah. If that's what you got from it, then that's what it is. But yeah, it is, at face value, it is a love story with a cactus.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. That's awesome. Yeah. So, again, I don't want to give too much away, of course, but I mean, you folks can control how much you want to give away. Mm-hmm. Like what inspires a love story with a cactus? Where does that come from when you're trying to write?
This is such a good question.
Write a story.
I can't remember how the cactus of it all came about, but I was in really, yeah. I was in a playwriting class, and I think actually the prompt was a monologue about a place you used to work. You had to like write down all of the different places you've worked, and then pick one. And then I can't remember what the prompt for the beginning of the monologue was, but I had picked David's Tea, where I used to work.
Cool.
And then this cactus just came out while I was writing. I think that's a lot of the way I write is something just happens while I'm writing and I go, oh, okay, cool. I guess this is where I'm going. So the cactus kind of just came to me, I suppose.
Okay. Emily, do you agree?
I think so, yeah. So Brynn wrote this wonderful play, and even I had the chance to see it at Island Fringe Festival in 2023, and another friend of ours was playing Guinevere, so I got to be in the audience and watch it, and even the difference 2 years ago watching it, and then getting to, delve into the character in this script, and just what the cactus means, like the metaphor of it all, and also the literal cactus of that. And yeah, our cactus, our lovely actor who plays the cactus, has poked me, and it does hurt. It's dangerous,
okay.
but it's beautiful. Yeah,
that's awesome.
She's got long spines.
Yeah,
long spines. Okay, that's awesome. So you came up with it while you're working at David's Tea?
I wasn't working at David's Tea at the time. I was just in a playwriting class, and the prompt was about a place I'd worked.
Oh, yeah. yes, a place you'd worked. Okay, David's Tea. I was going to ask if there was cactus tea involved, if that was a thing that David's Tea sold.
There might be cactus tea in the play, but that was a creative liberty that I took.
Okay. Yes, it wasn't a product they had.
No.
Okay. It's funny because the vocalist you heard in that last song used to work at David's Tea in Montreal.
Oh, no way. I feel like every artist used to work at David's Tea. So on. Yeah.
Is that how it is? Yeah.
Free tea?
Yeah.
I'm happy about it.
Draws in the artistic types.
Yeah, or a barista.
Yeah. I guess that's pretty classic.
I worked at a tea store.
Have you worked at a tea store, Emily?
I've worked as a barista.
Okay. So, Emily, you're from Winnipeg.
Yes, that's right.
I keep hearing has a great Fringe Festival.
They do, yeah. It's, as far as I know, the second biggest in North America, second to Edmonton Fringe, which I understand is huge, and then I think Edmonton Fringe is second to Edinburgh Fringe Festival. But yeah, Fringe Festival in Winnipeg is pretty special. And there's a theater school in Winnipeg as well, so a lot of new artists get to try out things. And then there's also, because there's so many wonderful regional theaters there, like Manitoba Theatre Centre, and a lot of professionals there, it's like, and we have tons of people who come in as well, and so it's just a wonderful sort of melting pot collaboration of all these many different kinds of shows happening all at once.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Mm-hmm. Cool. So you're from Winnipeg, or you still live in Winnipeg?
I still live in Winnipeg, yeah.
Okay. And Brynn, you're in Charlottetown. Yeah. So how did you two come together? What's the story there?
We went to theater school together in Ontario, actually. And then both lived in Toronto for a while, and then went our separate ways across the country. And then I said, hey, can I tempt you to come hang out on the East Coast this summer and do a play with me?
And the first time I got to visit Prince Edward Island, like East Coast, was 2017, and like it was like Disneyland, you know, like I'm a huge Anne of Green Gables fan. So just like getting to be and swim in the ocean too, that was amazing. And then I came to visit 2 summers ago and it was wonderful. And then to get to come back and do this wonderful play is just, oh, of course. Yeah.
And Emily did a tour in 2017 and came to St. John's. So we've been walking around town and I've been going, I think I was here before.
Yeah.
Very
and so,
cool.
like some of the things I'm like, I'm pretty sure I remember this. And then I'll like go back and be like, yes, this was the place. Cause we spent a couple days in St. John and it's just, yeah, I'm from the prairies. So any sort of incline is like I think Charlottetown is steep, but holy cow.
Charlottetown's flat.
St. John. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was going to say Charlottetown. Yeah, that's got nothing on some of the hills. Yeah.
But it's all, like, I guess almost 10 years later, but it's so cool to be back here. And I love the proximity to the ocean and everyone's so wonderful and friendly. And the buildings are just like so beautiful and historic and cool looking. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I have to ask a little bit more about Anne of Green Gables. So what's the fascination? What's the fascination there?
I think my mom was she still is a big Anne of Green Gables fan and, you know, really encouraged that in me. And I'm actually named after another Lucy Maud Montgomery character, Emily of New Moon. And one of my sister's middle names is Anne with an E. So I think really like my mom's love of it really encouraged me. And I just have loved the story, have loved the musical. And yeah, when I was there in 2017, I went to see it 6 times because I really like it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's neat. I always heard it was big in Japan, Anne of Green Gables.
Yes.
It is.
It is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And a ton of tourists
Yeah, we
come,
got a
right?
ton of tourists. Yeah.
I don't know why I was like so surprised. Like when I learned that fact, I don't know why I was just like so far away and how they have this huge, like there's this huge love for a Canadian story. Like I thought I just loved it so much because it was Canadian, but there's so many like universal themes to it. But yeah, and cruise ships come from all over to Charlottetown, I think. But yeah, there's a lot of people who come to see the musical, to see Green Gables. That's a cool trip. Yeah.
That's neat. I associated with like the show Road to Avonlea. Do you remember that show?
Yes.
Yeah,
I do because my mom loved that.
Yeah, our parents used to make us watch that.
Yeah.
I was a little too young to probably appreciate. It's probably I should rewatch it, to be honest. Maybe I'd enjoy it more now. But
One of those things of you appreciate things in different ways at different stages of your life.
Yeah.
So it's so cool to come back to things.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that joke that went entirely over my head.
Yeah, didn't see it at all.
Yeah.
Okay, so how's the festival been so far this week?
Really fun. Lots of great people around.
We're in the Haven Music Hall,
Cool.
which is just a fabulous venue. I think it's their first time hosted, like being a fringe venue. And the staff there are so wonderful. And it's just like the vibes of the place are so great. And I think it's so perfect for this play.
Totally.
And the other shows that are programmed in there. And it's just, it's a lovely spot.
And it's also super close to walk to all of the other fringe venues, which is amazing. If you're trying to see a bunch of shows, you can really easily go, 4-minute walk to the next show and just kind of pack them in since they're all only an hour long and $15 if you want to just spend a day seeing a bunch of cool plays.
Yeah, everything's pretty handy.
Yeah.
Like uptown. It's real nice. So have you been getting any like good feedback or reactions from the crowd or anything like that?
I think absolutely. One of the things, because it is a one-person show, although like, you know, my scene partners are there's a cactus, there's maybe a couple other plants, and rehearsing it, Brynn wrote and directed it, and so in our rehearsal room, it's just us. So I'm talking to a bunch of imaginary people, and Brynn's giving me so much, but when you add so many more people, it just takes it to that next level, and like the story becomes that more alive, I think, and like really connecting with people.
Yeah, with a one-person show, it really is, obviously depending on how the show itself is set up, but the audience really is your scene partner. So it's like it's not complete until you have folks watching.
Okay.
We got a really lovely drawing of our characters from an audience member yesterday. So yeah, it's
A drawing?
lovely. Yeah.
Oh, really? Like they drew it as you were performing? I
don't know when they drew it,
okay.
but we got an Instagram picture of
Oh, gotcha.
Guinevere holding
doodle.
little cactus.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute. I like that. What's that kind of like, Brynn, directing Emily in rehearsals.
Yes.
But when it comes time for the show, you're like, you just let it unfold. So when she's doing the rehearsal, you're trying to anticipate what the audience is going to be seeing, or do you like only see it through your eyes? Am I making any sense there?
Yeah, like a little bit of both, I would say. I think the director's job is to make sure that the story is clear, ultimately. So trying to find, those peaks and valleys. Where is the climax supposed to be in the whole show and in this given scene? And where can we really lean more into the comedy of a certain moment? And where can we clarify the intention of the character? So I am definitely thinking about the audience mostly in terms of trying to open my ears to be hearing it from the perspective of someone who doesn't know every single word that's on the page.
Okay.
It's kind of always the hardest thing, because I can hear Emily talking and go, yeah, I understood every word you said, but I know what the words are. So trying to go, okay, maybe we need to slow this section down, or maybe this moment, we need to do this to really draw the focus over here, that sort of thing. So a little bit of both, I would say, in the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those moments in time when you're trying to, someone told me it's called punching up the script. Does that sound right?
I think that's a big comedy thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, and that I think comes more in sketch or like sketch prov, or like writing stuff like that. And because the script was already written, I think there were some things that in rehearsal Brynn maybe changed or added a little bit. But yeah, some of it is like there are some lines that you could deliver a million different ways, and some ways can be really funny, and some ways just depending on the delivery, I think.
Mm-hmm. And then physical beats as well. Yes.
Physical beats?
Yeah, like what Emily is physically doing with her body.
Okay.
In moments where perhaps she's not speaking. Mm-hmm. Moments that are more about physical action than about dialogue, or I suppose... Mm-hmm. What do you call it when it's not when you're not talking to anybody?
Monologue. Yeah.
Right. That's what that's called.
When you're kind of talking to yourself, or you're just no talking at all?
Talking to myself, or just talking, because dialogue between two or more people, but a monologue is, in the classic like theater fashion, it's one person speaking to themselves, speaking to no one, but the audience is there watching. Okay. And so maybe you are speaking to the audience, or maybe it's this person just talking to themselves.
Okay.
Or maybe they're talking to some plants.
Or maybe they're talking to some plants, exactly.
As we all do in our homes. Do we not all do that? Or is that just me?
Yeah.
I have leaned into it a little bit more.
Yeah.
And
it's important. They need encouragement to grow.
The plants do? I've never tried that. But
singing to them also really works.
Okay. There's usually music going on in my house. So does that count?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So monologuing it's kind of ambiguous. You might be like just inner monologuing out loud for audiences to hear it, but then you also might be trying to like talk to the audience.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. Mm-hmm. Is there a difference between the approach to writing a monologue section and like a dialogue section?
Yeah, I'm sure there is. Trying to think of how I approach them differently. Dialogue is a lot easier in that you have someone else to shift the energy or to bring in other factors.
Okay.
Whereas with one person, they kind of have to control it entirely on their own.
Yeah.
Okay. So finding the ways for monologue to be dramatic and active is definitely a bit more challenging for me personally than for dialogue. But also I'm a rambler, so I love writing in monologues and I find it fun. I'm sure there is a technique somewhere that someone could tell me, approach monologues like this, approach dialogue like this. But
I think you kind of touched on with if you have multiple characters there, you can I imagine you can put yourself into the mind of the character, so their energy or their personality
totally
can change, whereas the person by themselves, they're just kind of left out being themselves, or like they're stuck in that hanging out all by themselves.
And maybe they are like working through something and like thinking out loud and speaking and making discoveries that way, but definitely different when it's the reactionary of two different people versus just one person on their own.
Yeah, and a lot for Guinevere in this story because she has this cactus and these other plants that she's talking to. There's a lot of her projecting in from her mind what she thinks the cactus or the other plants are thinking of her, and that's what she's reacting to.
Okay.
Those cycles we get into in our own minds of these people hate me or like that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. How does how does blocking come into the show when you're doing a one person show?
Very good question. Yeah, it is also, I find personally more challenging with a one person show. When there's other bodies, it kind of makes more sense where people end up in the room. And I'm a big fan of kind of working on things organically and letting the actors feel where they feel they need to move, if they feel stuck, et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, for this type of show, it is really, okay, how do we make sure that you're not just standing in the same spot the whole time? What are you reacting to? What could lead you to move over here? And so that's a bit of a negotiating game between some of it being Emily's impulse was to move here, and some of it is me going, it would be really nice if we could use this picture over here. So let's find a way to motivate you to get over to this corner of the room. Okay. That kind of thing. Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
And we did I just flew into Charlottetown on Wednesday last week, and before that for a couple weeks we were doing Zoom rehearsals about once a week, which is because Charlottetown, Winnipeg, it's a bit of a drive,
bit of a commute.
So we're Zooming from my dining room, and I have sort of a rough mock-up of what our set and what our props will kind of be like, and so sort of like teasing it out that way. And then once we were like in person in a rehearsal room, we really had to like hit the ground running and like use what we had sort of set up, but also like once like in the actuality of the space and the physics, that also helps. I think it helps like shape the story a little bit more too. Totally. But yeah, definitely the staging of it with one person is hard. It's different when it's just me and my impulses and also following the script. Yeah.
Do you have like some liberty to change it night by night? Like, do you make little adjustments based on how it felt?
Yes, yeah, definitely. And I mean, like, there are some sort of, markers in the script and like certain things I say, and I'm like, so I have to be in this spot to say this, otherwise it doesn't make sense. But as long as I'm hitting those sort of checkpoints, benchmarks. Thank you. That was the word I was thinking of. That's the writer. But definitely, yeah, I'm sure. It's a little bit different every night. Just the movement, and maybe even some of the words that come out of my mouth might be a little different because it's a lot of words. They're great words, but remembering it all, that's also a big part of it. And
it's like 50 minutes of Emily talking by herself.
Yeah, so okay, that like my thought is someone who's not. I mean, I did theater in high school. That doesn't count. That's decades ago. But
totally does count. Yeah,
the fear of like forgetting a line. Like I can't really wrap myself around what that would feel like, or if once you're a professional, you just don't have that fear anymore.
I wish. Yeah, and in a show with more than one person, sometimes if something happens, and that has happened to me on stage, where I go to the white room and I can't remember, but luckily I had a scene partner who saw that and was able to like get me back into it and make it all work. But the scene partners don't talk to me. I can imagine them talking. Yeah, so if I lose where I am, there's no one to cue me or give me a hint or
I think the fear never goes away. You just slowly have more and more tools to deal with it if it happens.
Okay.
Totally.
Yeah.
So have there been moments where you just have to kind of improv it, like just trust?
Absolutely.
Just gotta shut the brain off and start talking and see where it ends up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think
that's scary.
The main thing is when you always know what you are trying to say, what a certain moment is supposed to mean, or where you're getting to, then you have something to hang on to of, I don't remember exactly what I'm supposed to say, but I know it's something about this, so you have something to work with.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And do you kind of like stay in character So, I mean, okay, so in my mind, if I was acting as a character and then I had this moment of fear where I forgot the lines, I feel like I would revert back to being myself. Do you know what I mean? Like, but if, like, you try to stay in character in those moments and you have to, you improv as the character would act, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, there's definitely a lot of Guinevere that is parallel to me, Emily. So that's helpful in, and, you know, she's thinking through a lot of stuff. So maybe there like some moments where I am quiet and trying to think of, like, Guinevere's trying to think of what comes next, what to say next. Whereas some moments it's a little more Emily thinking, what is the next line? What am I supposed to say next? But I can sort of bring that nervous and uncertainty into the character.
Yep.
But still always trying to stay in character. Okay. Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I don't mean to focus on forgetting lines so much. I just find it so fascinating. Yeah. So it's labeled as or it's billed as a dark comedy. What makes a dark comedy a dark comedy? Like, how do you know to write like a dark comedy?
That's a fascinating question, because every time I've looked at the words dark comedy, I've gone, is it a dark comedy? Okay. But it's not a comedy. I mean, it's a comedy, but it's not like a happy comedy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think themes,
language,
but you could swear a lot in a comedy. There's a lot of swearing. Yeah. Heads up.
So much.
Please don't
language.
Bring your children unless you're down with that. Yeah, I think it's mostly a thematic thing. Like if it's less lighthearted in its overall story, I think that's what makes it darker for me.
Okay. I guess I'm just fast. Like, I'm always curious about like the darkness. When you're writing, if you're writing a darker script or what story, do the comedic moments, do they like happen by accident?
I think personally, all of my comedic moments happen by accident, to be so honest. Okay. I don't think I really know how to sit down and write a joke. I think I just write and let the funny happen. And then in further drafts, I would do the punching up to find the way to make it land the funniest. But,
and I think because it's, you know, darker or like, you know, a bit more like, I want to say serious themes, but it's like, you know, more emotional, more, not all just like happy joke after joke after joke, when there's that tension build. And then I say like the line is something that's not necessarily a haha joke, but because there's all this tension built up, it's a huge tension breaker, and then it leads to a laugh.
Totally. For yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I enjoy I don't know how stand-up comics do it, honestly. I enjoy the pressure of not having to make the audience laugh with every line. Okay. That sounds horrifying. I'm like, if they laugh, that's awesome. But I'm just going to tell my story, and it might be a little funny along the way. And when you guys want to laugh, awesome.
Gotcha. Okay, so some of the comedic moments kind of present themselves only when the audience is maybe reacting to it?
Definitely.
Does that make sense?
I think so. Or like, maybe we have an idea that like, you know what, this might like break the tension, or this might make someone laugh. And sometimes it does. And sometimes there are other moments that I think we did not anticipate.
Yeah. Definitely a lot of like pop culture references that I think have a little bounce of funny to them. Okay. I love a pun.
Yeah.
Pun? Yeah. I'm pro pun.
Yeah. We all should be pro pun.
Sure. Yeah.
It's important.
Everyone loves puns, and those who say they don't, they're lying.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you got so you've had 2 shows so far?
2 shows so far.
So far.
And 2 remaining.
2 remaining?
Yeah.
Not 3?
We are the festival goes until Saturday, but we have a wedding on Saturday night, so we will be headed back to Charlottetown.
Oh, gotcha. Yes. That's okay though. So you got 2 more shows. So that's tonight, obviously, at Haven Music Hall, 6:30 to 7:30.
Yes.
And then same venue tomorrow, from at 8 p.m. till 9 p.m.
Indeed, that's right.
That's awesome. Yeah. And then you'll be back to Anna Green Gables land.
Exactly.
So Emily, are you getting your share of? Is it Cow's chocolate? That brand?
Oh, I love Cow's chocolate, Cow's ice cream.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Yeah. The chocolate with is it gingerbread pieces?
Oh, I was thinking of the chocolate covered chips.
The chocolate covered chips.
With the chocolate bar with the gingerbread crunchy bits in it.
I've had that actually.
Okay.
Real good.
We will have to try
have to hunt that down.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's really good. Is there any way people can get in touch with you if they want to ask questions about the show,
they can find us on Instagram at The Prick Play. And we've also got 2 little Facebook events. If you search The Prick, Fundy Fringe, I guess the other one's for Halifax. So probably none of y'all are in Halifax right now, but if you are, next week.
You're in Halifax next week?
Halifax Fringe.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. So that'll be, and you'll be there as well, Emily?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. So you're doing a few festivals, a run of festivals?
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. All right, that's really exciting. So yeah, just a reminder, that's tonight at Haven Music Hall at, where'd the time go here? Just give me a second. That's 6:30. And then tomorrow again at 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really exciting.
Yeah.
Awesome. And hopefully you'll be back next year for the 14th.
That'll be fun.
Fringe?
14th
Yeah,
Fringe,
wicked. Okay, I'm going to throw to that band I mentioned, Brynn, when you were coming in here.
Amazing.
About the, let me bring up the phone here. Death Cell from PEI. Now, just a little warning to our listeners. It is a little bit of a hardcore band, but we're a little punk rock here at Local FM. So that's just how it's going to be. We're going to hear Death Cell, a couple songs off their album Catholic Guilt. This is a PEI-based hardcore band. And then I'll be back here in the studio with Sully O'Sullivan to talk about his performance here at the festival as well. And yeah, enjoy this little taste of punk rock.